Let's talk about Dina. So, what drew you to this role originally when you first read the script? What was one thing that you were like, I have to play this role?
Okay, so I have a background in the Second City, which is sketch and improv, and there was a character that I developed when I was at the Second City that was based on a classified ad that said, single woman seeks male platonic companion for hard rock concerts, roller coasters, and fun. And I developed this, like, very eccentric character based on that. And I played her for years, just in improv sets and stuff like that. Like, all my buddies knew that it was like, oh, she's doing that character or whatever. So when I read the Superstore script, the pilot script, I was like, I know her. I've been playing her for years. It was like exactly the same tone and concept. So I was so excited that then I was just like, nobody else is going to be able to play this part. And I hounded my managers and was like, where's my audition? And they're like, we're getting you in there. So yeah, luckily the people at NBC agreed with me. Justin Spitzer and the NBC folks were like, she is the best person for this part. So that worked out.
And then going back to your Second City experience, I'm from Chicago, so I know Second City, like it's a thing, it's awesome. So can you talk about your experience and like what you learned from there that you like going forward, obviously, when you play Dina and other roles that you've had in the past?
Yeah, I started out at Second City Toronto, which was amazing, but then I got to do the main stage in Second City Chicago, and it's a totally different ballgame. It's like the caliber is so high, and the pressure was so huge, and it really elevated my game. Like, it's one of those things where I had a lot of experience at that point in sketch and improv, but I came in there and I felt like, man, I'm out of my depths. I don't know what I'm doing. So I really felt like I learned a lot doing my time there. Doing my time there sounds like prison. It wasn't like prison. It was actually quite the opposite. But it's an amazing thing. It's iconic. It's such an iconic kind of mainstay, certainly in Chicago and also in the States. And so I'm really grateful to have that time. I had dropped out of theater school like 4 months in. And so my time at Second City feels like my post-secondary school education. And I really do value everything that I learned when I was in Chicago for sure as helping me kind of like elevate my game as an actor and improviser. And it looks like it's paid off.
And were you in Chicago during the winter?
Of course, I'm Canadian. So
okay, you get it.
I get it.
Okay.
But yeah, the coldest day I ever remember in my entire life was when I was living in Chicago, and I was living in Old Town, and there was a bank on the corner of North and Wells, and the signs that tell you the time and the temperature, it actually froze. It broke because it was so cold. And
Sounds
that was
about
the
right.
coldest day I've ever experienced.
So what are you looking forward to seeing Dina do next season? Is there something that you would love to just, go right in and...
Listen, I have been campaigning on the internet to get Mark Hamill to play Dina's dad in season 5. I want it so bad. But jokes aside, even if that doesn't happen, I really would like to see more of Dina's private life. I'd love to see her dad. I'd love to meet her sister, Denise, who we know that she has a huge rivalry with. And also Colleen from The Other Store, which is a huge nemesis of hers. Those are all characters that I would love to get to see her interact with. I always love to see Dina, or what I would like to see Dina do the most is like, who is the person in her life that's going to make her low status? It's going to make her crumble. Those are the people I'd like to see her interact with.
And then playing Dina for all these years, is there something that really resonates with you that you kind of or like notice yourself doing, like, oh, that's a Dina thing as opposed to like a Lauren thing?
Oh my gosh, everything. All the time. I'll find myself saying and doing things where I'm like, oh man, the lines are blurring. I can't remember, there was something recently and like 3 people looked at me like, you hear yourself? And I was like, you're totally right. But I will say, like, definitely my hair being back, that feels like something that I've been embracing more since playing Dina. And again, just a general embracing of rules. Mm-hmm. That's really the big commonality the two of us have, for sure.